Good afternoon, Rhode Island Comic-Con! Anyone here a fan of Weird Al Yankovic? Well, that's relief. You're all in the right place. I would have seated all these people for no reason if you weren't here for him. I'm going to bring out your host today, good friend of mine. You know him as the Nostalgia Critic, Mr. Doug Walker!
Keep it going, come on! Okay, stop. Okay, because, man, you know who we got back there? Do you know who we got back there? You know who we got back there? I'm gonna tell you, this guy, he is a Grammy award-winning artist. He is the name in parody music, but he also does original songs too. He is the star of television and films and all sorts of various concerts. He is amazing, guys. Let's not waste any more time. Weird Al Yankovic. Oh, you're actually sitting on the mic. Oh, he actually came out. It was anyway. So, okay. The way we're gonna do is I'm gonna ask. We're gonna open this up to the people here. In a second, I'm gonna tell you to go ahead and line up at either side of the mics here. But under one condition, I get the first question and the last question. So, my first question to you.
I can't wait.
Yes. Tell us about your tour coming up.
Oh, that's an easy question.
I didn't say it'd be hard.
It's called the Ridiculously Self-Indulgent Ill-Advised Vanity Tour. And it's very different. Some of you probably already know about it. It's starting the end of February, going through June. All the dates are on weirdal.com. But it's a much different show than we've done in the past, because normally we do a highly theatrical produced show with costumes and props and fat suits and Amish, it's a big show. And I enjoy doing that, don't get me wrong, but we've been doing that same kind of show for decades and getting bigger and bigger every year. And I thought, just for a change of pace, we're gonna take it all the way back down to just like, 5 guys on stage playing instruments. And and not only that, we're gonna be playing the deep cuts and the obscure songs and some of the tracks that we just never play live because, we always have to play the hits and we can't throw in that many deep cuts, but this tour is almost entirely deep cuts. So if you like the obscure stuff that you thought you'd never hear live on stage before, this is the tour.
Definitely go check that out. If you haven't gotten tickets already, I'm assuming all of you have tickets. Who doesn't have tickets yet? Hey, all right, hey. Okay, you got some homework. Get out! I like how some people are just like... So everyone, calmly and very orderly, go ahead to either side here, make one line along either side. Again, very calmly, collectively. We've had people go pretty crazy here, and we definitely don't want that. So we are gonna start over here on the left. Sir, we got Snake right there. You are gonna ask our first question.
I'm so excited. Is this thing on?
It is not on.
Oh man, Al, I'm a huge fan. I'm really excited to hear that you're gonna be playing deep cuts. I actually had a question about that. So you're really known for your parody work, doing direct parodies of songs, but there's a lot of songs like Germs from Running with Scissors where you take an artist's style and sort of construct a new thing that sounds really similar. Now, of those songs like Germs and Dog Eat Dog and I can't think of another one right now because I'm nervous, but songs where I'll Sue You, that's a good one, where you average the style. What of those was the most fun to write for you?
Which are the most fun to write? They're all fun to write. The ones that I feel proudest about are the ones where you can tell what artists they're supposed to be, but you can't say, oh, that's a cross between this song and this song, or that's definitely like, a takeoff on this particular song. I like the ones that are like, yeah, I can tell this artist, but I don't, it's really, an amalgamation of their whole style. So I like, those are the ones I'm proudest of, where I've managed to kind of like figure out the little idiosyncrasies and the little, specifics of their style, but it's not so obviously any one song or another.
If you haven't seen the UHF music video, by the way, he does like every musician known to man at that time, so definitely check that one out. So thank you so much. Over here on the right, you got our next question.
Hey Al, whoa.
Hey.
Okay. Your music has been in my family for longer than I've been around, so your music has pretty much been the soundtrack to my life. I just wanted to know, would you ever be willing to do a Super Bowl halftime show? And what do we have to do to make that happen?
Follow-up question, will there be a wardrobe malfunction?
Yeah. Well, let me put it this way. If they asked, I wouldn't say no. But I'm almost positive I will never be on the NFL shortlist. But that's just not going to happen. But I appreciate the fan support, and I know that there's been a campaign to get me on there. I wouldn't hold your breath, but thank you for the support.
Over here on the left.
Hogwarts house.
I'm sorry?
Hogwarts house. What would your Hogwarts house be?
What would your Hogwarts house be?
Oh, Gryffindor, I guess.
I love it. It's like he just shrugs Gryffindor, and everyone's going like, you heard it right here, Gryffindor! He thought long and hard about that!
That's gonna be on my Wikipedia page now.
Yes. So awesome. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Over here on the right.
First of all, Al, Doug, it's so surreal to see you both, two of my childhood heroes together on the stage. Al, you've done some wonderful straight covers with your band over the years. Radio, What Is Life, you did for George Fest. I'm looking forward to your Beat on the Brat cover I heard about.
Oh, thank you, yeah.
What's the possibility, if you're open to it, of you doing an entirely cover album?
I doubt that I do that, but that's another thing on this new tour. Again, don't hold me to this because it might change, but we're going to try. Currently, the plan is to try to do a different cover song every single night of the tour.
Nice. Thank you very much.
And those of you raise your hands, get tickets, man. Over here on the left.
Hey, so most recently, the thing that I was the most excited to see you in was your stint as one of the monks of Holy Refrain on Galavant.
Thank you. I love that show.
It was so much fun. It was gone too soon. I have a question about the songwriting process on that. How much of the monks' music did you have a hand in? Did you do anything with it, or was it all up to someone else?
If I had to put a percentage on it, I would say 0%. That was Alan Menken and Glenn. I'm blanking on his last name, but thank you for Glenn Slater. I'm not going to improve on Alan Menken and Glenn Slater. I mean, they're amazing, and the songs were brilliant, and I was very happy to be a part of that show. What a fun show to do. I mean, it had to be on network because of the budget, because we were like literally in England shooting in castles. I mean, it wasn't like some backlot. It was a real, honest to goodness, 12th century abbey that we were shooting in. But at the same time, that show was too weird to be on network, because it was this bizarre comedy, fantasy, musical, which I love, and a lot of these people here in this room love, but it's not the kind of thing that would be like a mainstream hit. So it was one of those kind of weird creatures that was too weird to live, but I really enjoyed doing the show.
Awesome, thank you.
Did get a second season?
They did get a second season.
Over here on the right.
Hello again, Doug.
This is his panel.
I know. Well, first of all, when I saw you come out, I'm like, he has not aged a day since the 1990s.
Oh, well.
Thank you, I tried.
But what really made you want to actually start parodying popular music?
It's just something that I'd done since I was 8 years old, and it was just a phase I never grew out of. And, I think most people in the universe make fun of the songs on the radio when they're kids, and I don't know why. I got early encouragement. I mean, I sent tapes to Dr. Demento when I was like 13 years old, and he started playing them on the radio, and he sent me some nice letters, and the encouragement that just kind of got me to keep doing it, and I kept doing it until I got a record deal. So it wasn't my lifelong plan, but I just had a few lucky breaks, and that's just the way it turned out.
Thank you very much.
Over here on the left.
How come you haven't done a Prince song?
He has never allowed me to do a parody. I approached him a number of times, probably 4 to 6 times, I think, over the years, mostly in the 80s and early 90s, but he never said okay. He never gave a reason. I don't think he was so fond of parodies of his work. He was very protective about his material. And people said, well, now that he's passed, you're gonna do it. And he's not gonna change his mind now, and I respect the wishes of the artist, regardless of the legalities. And he made it pretty clear that he did not want any parodies done, so that's the way it's gonna stay.
Wonder Woman, right over here.
Hello.
Hello.
So sorry, I'm a little nervous. My fiance and I got together because of your music. He is a huge fan. I've been a huge fan for years, so just want to say thanks for helping to hook us together. But I kind of have a two-part question. Sure. What song was the most fun to parody, and what song was the most difficult to parody?
Well, they're all fun. It's difficult sometimes if a song is very repetitive or doesn't have a lot of words, which is why a lot of EDM songs are hard to parody, and a lot of those like wind up in a polka medley because those are still fun. But you need some source material to work with. So if there's not a lot of words to work with, it makes it difficult to do a parody. Which is one of the reasons why I've done a lot of rap songs in the last decade or two, because there's a lot of words to play with. And sometimes some of the rap songs are very complicated. There's a lot of internal rhymes, and they get very complicated. And I want to do justice to it, and not do a hack job, and really pay attention to like the details. And those are hard to get right sometimes. So it's if you're serious about it and want to do a good job, there's a lot of thought that goes into it.
Awesome. Star Trek Rogue, right over here.
Hey. Hi, Al. First of all, I want to say it was great meeting you on Friday when my daughter and I came up and got your autograph on that cassette. So she's grown up with it, and I've lived with it since before her age, so it's been amazing meeting you. With the new tour coming up, you said you're doing a lot of the deep cuts and things like that. Have you considered putting out any of those things in a new album, like School Cafeteria or Belvedere Cruisin'? And if you did, would you record them live, or like, say, at the concert or in a bathroom?
Well, there is the bonus disc on the Squeeze Box compilation, which is coming out like any second now. There's a lot of rarities like that, but not specifically School Cafeteria, Belvedere Cruising. There's a ton of stuff that I did before my first album deal, like recorded in my bedroom, horribly recorded and not very good songs. And I'm not super proud of those, and I don't think that I would put those out, officially, but the people that are tenacious and really want that material, it's out there, it's online, you can search for it, you can find it, and it's not going to be any better quality than what I would put out myself. So, it exists, it can be found. I just didn't want to, put my stamp of approval on it because it's nothing that I'm particularly excited about putting out in the world.
All right, no worries, thanks.
Sure.
And before I forget, for your questions, if you say, I have two questions, just keep it to one. There's a long line on both sides. So, yes, you.
There we go. Thank you very much. Always a huge fan of not only your music, but all your performance on film as well. And one of my favorites was you joining with the 5 Second Film crew and doing a series with them for YouTube. I was just wondering, how did that come together with you working with 5 Second Films, and what was that experience like?
I'm trying to remember how that came to be. I was a fan of theirs. I know Patton Oswalt's a friend, and I knew he did a few things with them. I don't actually remember if I approached them or they approached me, but we were mutual fans, and we made it happen. And I went to they do it out of their house, and I went there, and they knocked out like 4 or 5 bits in a day, and they ran those. But I just really enjoyed their stuff, and it was fun, and I used some of their clips in the live show. But yeah, I don't remember how that all came to be. We just kind of came together.
Excellent. Thank you.
Sure.
Awesome. On the left here.
Hello? Hi, Al. Especially in the last few years, there's been a lot of problems with scalping of tickets for music concerts. I was just wondering, what are you doing to help prevent the scalping of tickets from your upcoming tour?
It's tough. We're trying different things, and not all have been successful. On this new tour, we're going through the Ticketmaster Verified Fan, which is supposed to curtail that a bit. Although, from what I've read online, some people have been having a lot of problems with that. So it's not an easy thing to circumvent. It's a problem, and I don't like to see scalpers buying all the first 15 rows of tickets and selling them at market prices. We're trying as best as we can to put it back in the hands of the fans. That's why we did the pre-sales and things like that, because we didn't want bots buying the tickets. It's not perfect, and we still have people that are unhappy with the way the tickets are being sold, but believe me, we're doing everything we can to not have that happen.
One of the problems with the verified thing is if your Ticketmaster account isn't very old, then it won't let you buy the tickets. That's part of the reason why I haven't bought a ticket.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I mean, we're trying to you know, do whatever's best for the fans, and we're still learning. It's still a learning curve. We'll figure it out someday, I hope.
A much more chipper question over here.
Hi, Weird. My dad actually introduced me to your music, and so I was just wondering, how long did it take to write the parodies?
I didn't hear the first part of that. How long?
How long did it take to write the parodies?
Just in general?
In general?
Yeah.
It really varies. I mean, you know, I spend a lot more time nowadays than I did when I was starting out. Just because, you know, when I was starting out, I thought, oh, I'll just write some silly little song and maybe Dr. Demento will play it. Like, when I probably wrote Another One Rides the Bus in less than half an hour. It was just like, oh, this will be fun. Now thinking, oh, I'll be playing this on stage 40 years from now, you know. And nowadays, now that I realize that what I do, people actually care about, and I ostensibly will be playing this on stage for the rest of my life, you know, I spend a little more time. You know, I can spend, you know, weeks, you know, writing one song just to, you know, make sure that every single syllable is exactly right.
Also, you can run out of foods too.
True, yeah.
Over here on the left.
Hey, Weird now.
Hey.
So, my question is, what was it like to work on UFH, the movie?
I've never done UFH, but UHF.
UHF. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Take two. Try it again.
What was it like to work on UHF?
There you go.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. We shot the bulk of that in Tulsa, Oklahoma, summer of 1988. And you know, I was very green. My director, who was also my manager, Jay Levy, who I co-wrote the script with, very green. He'd never directed a movie before. He directed some of my music videos. We kind of didn't know what we were doing, but we were giving it our best shot. I love the cast. I love the crew. We had a fantastic time. The people of Tulsa were wonderful. It was a great experience. I would like to do it again sometime.
Maybe you can hire me as a director, because I'm a filmmaker.
Thank you. Your fan club up here, buddy. Over here on the right.
Thanks for coming today. It's a big fan of your work and excited for the new tour. I love the stories of your history. Your parents buying the accordion instead of the guitar because it was the instrument of the future, which is such a beautiful story, and how you turned it into a lifelong passion. I heard something, and I haven't been able to find anything online, you doing a pro wrestling parody years ago. Is there any truth to that? Something with WrestleMania? The internet's got a lot of things that aren't true, but I thought since you were here, I'd finally ask you.
I think that's probably an urban legend. You know, the closest I can relate to that is Rick Derringer, who produced my first 6 albums, also produced a wrestling album. So he did a lot of wrestling. So he worked with Hulk Hogan and all those people and did an album. But I don't believe I ever wrote a wrestling song or really had any kind of connection with that world.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Over here, after Mike problems. There you go.
Yeah. There we go. Oh, thank you very much. Hi, Weird Al. Tale as old as time. Big fan for like literally most of my life. Grew up on your music. Like a Surgeon and The Saga Begins are still some of my favorite songs of all time.
Thank you.
What I want to ask is, speaking of like UHF and such, if you had the chance, would you work on a movie like that again?
Sure. I mean, I'd love to do another movie. You know, my first choice wouldn't be a sequel to UHF because you may not know this, it didn't do well at the box office. But you know, I've always been very open to the idea of doing another movie. I've done cameos of movies over the years. I have not, you know, been offered any kind of major role in a film, but I continue to be very open to that possibility if it's a good fit. I've been offered some things that wouldn't have fit quite as well with my persona. But yeah, no, I would absolutely be very open to that.
Awesome, thank you.
Right over here.
Growing up in the 90s, I didn't have cable TV. So the very first time I saw you on TV was actually when you were on Square One TV on PBS.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Oh, I'm not finished yet. You did the music video for the song Patterns.
Yeah.
Which is still actually one of my favorite songs by you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's on YouTube, but it's not on your Vivo channel. It's on a very low quality video that somebody got off their VCR.
Yeah.
And much to my surprise, it's also not included on your Medium Rarities album. So my question is Is it not included on there because you forgot about it, or is it because you don't have the rights for it?
No, I was aware of it. One of the reasons I didn't put it on there, not that this is necessarily a reason not to put it on there, but I did not write that song. That song was written by David Yazbek, who at the time was working for PBS, I guess, but he's gone on to be quite a famous writer of Broadway musicals. He did the music for Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, the musical, and a few other things. So he's a pretty famous Broadway music writer, and back then he wrote the song Patterns. So it was fun, and we could have put it on Medium Rarities, but I mean, there's a lot of songs that didn't quite make the cut.
Thank you.
Over here on the left.
Here we go. Of your original songs that you'll be performing in your upcoming tour, how many of them are going to be polka?
I don't, and again, don't hold me to this. I don't think we're doing polkas on this tour because, again, those wouldn't be originals. I'm doing songs that I would have sole songwriting credits for, and those include the pastiches and song parodies, but not straight parodies and probably not polkas. Sorry. Sorry, guys.
So, as another Weird Al, welcome to Rhode Island, Weird Al.
Thank you.
And as a general fan of just spoofs and parodies and all, and I know you've worked with them before, and I was curious if you're going to work with them again, the guys of RiffTrax, because I know you did the Jurassic Park video with them.
Yeah, that was a blast. I love doing the Jurassic Park RiffTrax, and I love those guys. And yeah, if they ask me again, I do it again. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
Excellent.
He's also on the Christmas riff, by the way.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
very good, very good.
I just remembered at that point too.
Over here on the left.
Hi, my name is Andrew. I have a question. Would you ever do like a little cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy? Because I think because you're like 80s and 90s, it would fit into it. Would you ever do that?
I could write a cameo in what?
Would you do a cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, of course. I mean, come on. I love that movie. And James Gunn is a friend of mine, and I would love to do, yeah. James, if you're listening, please, yeah.
What would you be dressed up as exactly? Like, what would your style kind of be like?
I don't think you get to choose. I think I would be happy to do craft services on that movie. That'd be fun.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Over here on the right, the red line. Do you have a riddle for us?
You know something? No, not yet. I have a question. Al, you refer to Dr. Demento a lot, who we both grew up and both love. What is the one song you've heard on Dr. Demento that just made your brain pop and it's like it's your favorite song?
That made my brain pop and it's my favorite song?
Favorite song from Dr. Demento.
You've heard on Dr. Demento.
From the original. Oh, gosh. One song that kind of sticks in my mind is not one of his more popular songs, but it was Mama Get the Hammer, There's a Fly on the Baby's Head. Oh yeah, these are my people. I understand this, yeah. Okay.
I haven't even heard this song, it's already my favorite song. No offense. Over here on the left.
In UHF, you ate a Twinkie dog. Was it good?
Well, I ate 7 and that wasn't good. Yeah, and I've had a couple since then. I've had the vegetarian version of the Twinkie wiener sandwich. It's still not so good. Some people acquire a taste for it, but yeah, not so much.
Thank you.
Over here on the right.
Hi, first off, I just want to say I'm a really big fan. I grew up listening to you on the radio, and my favorite songs are Another One Rides the Bus, because I have to take the city bus to college every day, and I just think of the experience. And You're Pitiful, because I know so many people who could fit under that bill. My question is, so far, what is your favorite episode of Milo Murphy's Law?
Oh, thank you. I don't know that I have a favorite episode. I'll tell you, the second season is crazy. It's I don't think this is a secret. I mean, the second season is a crossover with Phineas and Ferb.
I'm really excited for that.
Yeah. So again, I don't hope I'm not giving away any secrets, but the season premiere of season 2, which I think is in April, is an hour-long special, and that whole hour is just a full-on crossover, and it's going to be amazing.
Awesome, I can't wait.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Over here on the left.
Hi.
Hi.
My sister and I, probably a lot of people in here, are big fans of Bojack Horseman, and you were in season 3 as Captain Peanut Butter, and I remember before season 3 had come out, everyone was like, Weird Al's gonna be in it. It's gonna be one of the funny ones, not one of the sad ones. And then you delivered some of the saddest lines of the season.
Yeah.
Were you expecting that when they called you in to do it?
You know, it's funny how that it came about, because I kind of hustled that part myself, because I binge watched the first 2 seasons of Bojack Horseman, and I loved it. I thought this was an amazing show, and I know Aaron Paul, and he's one of the executive producers as well as one of the voiceover actors on the show, and I just emailed him and said, hey man, I just watched the whole show. It's amazing. You did a great job. Congratulations. And he was like, oh, we should have you on the show. And I was like, yes, you should. So they invited me to, I guess it was season 3, and I may come in. I didn't know what I was doing, but they had me play Captain Peanut Butter, which was Mr. Peanut Butter's brother. Mr. Peanut Butter played by Paul F. Tompkins. And yeah, it was not, it had funny moments, but it was sort of like a really sad part, because he may or may not be dying. So it was, you know, I like especially roles like that kind of subvert people's expectations, because usually when people have me in a cartoon, I'm basically doing a version of myself and doing this kind of wacky kind of voice, and it was nice to be able to do something that was a little different than maybe what people are expecting.
Great, thank you.
I didn't even know that was you. That just blew my mind. You're a good dramatic actor. Right over here.
All right, so this is sort of also related to cartoons, but you've been in a lot, like you've just played a bunch of bit parts. So like, what's one show that you've always wanted to cameo in?
A show I wanted to be on?
Yeah, just anything.
God, there's so many things I'd like to be on. I mean, there's so many shows I love. Rick and Morty would be fun. I'd love to do that. I would be thrilled beyond words to be in any Pixar production ever. That would be so great. I mean, you know, I love doing voiceover work in particular. I mean, there's a long list, but those are two like top of the list ones.
Makers of Pixar clearly got their wardrobe from you. I mean, the least they could do is put you in a movie. And you're in luck with Rick and Morty, because we got Rick right here. Why don't you ask?
What's going on, Al? So before I ask my question, if I could get a real quick wave to a friend of mine who was in the audience with me today, who was a little too starstruck to come and say hi. Her name's Stacy. I live in Fall River, a few miles down the road. I always was curious, because every time you tour around the area, you always seem to make a stop.
Raise the mic up a little bit, it's a little hard to hear.
Sorry. Every time you're in the area, this general area, you always seem to make a stop at the Criterion Theater. I was always wondering, with someone of your caliber, someone who's been in the industry as long as you have, and as many fans as you have, what draws you to such small venues like the Criterion Theater?
I'll tell you, I have absolutely no control on that. No, because people, every time we post tour days, there are people like, how come you're not playing Florida? And how come you're not doing this? And how come you're here? And how come you're not there? You know, it's not my job. I have an agent. I have a booker that like deals with promoters, and I trust them to, book me places that are appropriate and route the tour in a way that's not entirely crazy. And I don't get involved whatsoever. Basically, when the bus stops, I get out and play the show. So to answer your question, I don't know. I mean, I really honestly have no control whatsoever about anywhere that I play.
Out of curiosity, is there a stop on this coming tour at the Z or in this area, in the area of New Bedford, Fall River?
I can barely hear you.
Is there a stop in this area?
Is there a stop in that area on this coming tour?
I would have to look online. All the dates are on WeirdAl.com.
Awesome, thank you so much. Over here, Steampunk.
Hi again.
Hello.
Before the question, if you haven't seen Doug's parody of Frozen's Let It Go, you need to. I'm sure it'll make you proud. My question is, has there been any artist who's been disappointed or unhappy with a parody you've done of them?
Not to my knowledge. If so, they're keeping quiet about it. Which is nice. I mean, I, as you well know, I'm sure, I do get permission every time I do a parody, and every time I've heard from somebody after the fact, they've always been very kind and given me glowing compliments. So I would hope not, and if so, they have not told me.
Yeah, I think I heard a rumor somewhere that Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers wasn't happy with Bedrock Anthem.
Oh, yeah, I saw that on Behind the Music. He said something that wasn't entirely complimentary. He wasn't just, he didn't dislike it, but he wasn't that fond of it. He goes, it was basically a meh from Flea.
Yeah, I think he even says like, I don't know, what do you think? Yes, like even he didn't have much of an opinion. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Over here on the left.
Okay, so of all the cartoon cameos you've done for the year, from Johnny Bravo to The Simpsons and everything in between and beyond, what do you think is your favorite cameo?
My favorite?
Favorite anime role that you've done?
It's hard to pick, but since you mentioned The Simpsons, I'll go with that, because, I mean, it's one of the longest running shows, one of my favorite shows. And, you know, the talent on that show is just incredible, the writing and the voice talent. I'm one of the few celebs that's been on this show more than once, so there's a very small group of people that can claim multiple appearances on The Simpsons. And I always like to say that it's my one real shot at immortality, because you know, The Simpsons will be in syndication for the next 1,000 years. So I'm just glad to be part of the franchise.
Awesome. Right over here.
Hello, Al. It's very good to see you again.
You too.
Before I get to my question, once again, I thank you for coming on tour last year at PPAC, and I thank you for the picture yesterday. So my question is, over the years we've seen celebrities change their appearances, but in your case, you were able to stay the same over the years to stay healthy and stuff. So what is your secret?
What is your secret to staying healthy?
Well, I stay on my hyperbaric chamber for 22 hours a day, and I don't know. You know, I try to eat semi-healthy. Try to get sleep. I guess I've got good DNA.
Vegetarian?
Yeah.
You don't drink either, correct?
Very little. It's not. I don't like. I don't not drink, but it's like rarely drink. I don't do crack that often. You know, that works.
Good enough for me. Thank you.
To the beautifully dressed man over here, yes.
Al. Oh, wow, that's loud.
Hello.
Okay. I got a question for you. Is there a Sir Elton John level garish costume that you either have loved wearing or would like to wear in a future music video?
God, you know, I've worn a lot of crazy things, most of which I can't say that I loved wearing. I wore a lot of stuff in particular for the Lady Gaga parody, and for one entire tour I did that song on stage dressed as a large peacock, which wasn't the most comfortable way to perform a song. I mean, I was very much looking forward to the end of that tour so I could get rid of the peacock. I don't know what, that might have gone on eBay or something. I don't even know what happened to that peacock, but you know, I don't, you know, I'm happy to wear costumes that are appropriate to what I'm doing, but I don't look forward to wearing some kind of extravagant costume.
Would you wear this?
No.
Over there.
Hi,
Next.
All right. Similarly to when you voiced Captain Peanut Butter or when you normal Al'd Jenna Maroney's pizza song in 30 Rock, do you have any sort of like personal career goals down the line where you want to do something more serious? Like, do you want to play like a serious role in a play or a movie or anything like that?
I don't have any desire to, you know, really do more serious roles. Although when I'm offered something, again, out of character, it's fun for me. Like I did a role on the Batman versus Robin. It was a DC animated feature, and I got to play a character called the Doll Maker, who was really serious and creepy and weird. And you know, I wouldn't want to do that all the time. But as a departure, that was fun for me. But in general, you know, it's not like when I was growing up, a lot of people that kind of got popular doing novelty hits. They're like, well, I got your attention now here's my real art. And then they try to have like a serious music career. And that's not me. I enjoy the comedy, I enjoy what I do. I like my niche, you know, I'm not tired of it, I'm not gonna get tired of it. You know, I'm happy stepping outside of my box sometimes, but it's not like I'm not gonna, all of a sudden, I want to be like, okay, now I'm serious Al. That's not gonna happen.
Normal Al Yank.
Yeah.
Over here on the left.
Hi, Weird Al. Long-time listener, first-time talker. Mike, I saw you a little while ago. You did a cameo on a music video with Garfunkel Oates. I was wondering, you know, just if you could name a couple of some fresh talent that you'd like to work with, or like a person or a group that impresses you, and what do you find funny?
Oh, you know, a lot of the people that I follow on Twitter are people that that are not only my friends, but I'm fans of their work. I mean, there's a lot of people doing musical comedy that, you know, that I think are great, and that I would love to work with. Well, you mentioned Garfunkel and Oates. I mean, I've worked with Tenacious D. I've worked with the Lonely Island was nice enough to have me do a cameo in their pop star movie. I mean, I think these are brilliant guys: Reggie Watts, Bo Burnham, Roy Zimmerman. You know, Chris Hardwick and Mike Firm. I mean, there's a ton of people doing brilliant work, and anytime they, you know, the thing is, these people, you know, a lot of these people, like, a lot of fans are like, oh, if you collaborate with this person, it'll be twice as good. And that's not really the way it works, you know, because it's, you know, I would love to work with any of these people, but it's not like, you know, the two of us together are going to be twice as good or twice as funny. It's just going to be something different.
Right. All right, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Last question from the audience here, right here at the pink.
Hi. First of all, hello. I'm a really big fan. Like, me and my family have been watching you nearly every night, and like, out of all the songs you have ever sang, which one is your favorite?
You know, I get asked that a lot. I don't have a real answer to that, because I love a lot of the songs, and I don't have like one favorite. I usually say White and Nerdy, just because it's the most autobiographical, you know. I had to really peel back the layers and expose the real Al. No. But that's certainly one of them, so let's go with that one.
And like I said before, I get the last question. This is always a question I want to ask you, and I think this is good for the audience too. You are so nice. You are just such a kind, friendly person, and you come from a world of entertainment where a lot of people, it's a lot of stress, and they find it very difficult to be nice. And you are so honest and so genuine and so kind. In a world where it's very difficult to be that, how do you hold up being so positive and so nice to your fans and so many people around you? Because you were infamously nice.
Well, you know, a lot of people say that, and I'm not. I mean, I like to think I'm a nice person, but you know, most of my friends are nice. Most of the people I know in the industry are nice. I mean, I don't think I'm like nicer than most of the people I know, but you know, I just kind of, you know, adhere to my motto in life: don't be a jerk. You know, and that seems to work. I mean, you know, it seems there's such a low bar now. It's like, oh gosh, if you're not a horrible monster, you're the nicest person in the world. You know. So, but I like to have that reputation. It's nice to hear.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Weird Al Yankovic.